This is a review of last night's Night Callers radio. It was a great show. The guest was Bart Catino. Bart is always does a great job. He did a great job as always, and I knew he would. I knew he was going to be a great guest and everything. So it was great to hear from him. And he talked quite a bit about his research in California and Oregon and Washington State. And he actually had a sighting through a thermal imager in 2007 near Wenatchee, Washington. No, it was near Natchez, Washington, which is where they held the Yakima Bigfoot Roundup a couple of years ago. He actually had that sighting not too far from Natchez. And he said that, and I asked him about it. I said, how did it compare to Mike Green's thermal footage? When I called in, that's what I asked him. He said that as far as the way it acted, the motions that it went through, you know, let's say that they're acting very cautious and everything. He did notice that. He did notice that the one he saw through the thermal imager did act very cautiously, much like Mike Green's squeaky footage. Let's see, what else did Bart talk about? He talked about the fact that he's actually driven the roads, pointing his thermal imager out at the forests. He's also gone hiking with the thermal. He says the thermal is an invaluable tool. It really is. And he says that Bart says that Mike Green's thermal footage is, to him, perhaps even better than the Patterson-Gimlin film, which I found interesting. But he talked quite a bit about his ventures out into the forests with some of his friends, such as Cliff Barrickman, who's a good guy, by the way, and with Mr. Wally Hersom, and how Wally is kind of Wally is the benefactor for the BFRO. He's the guy who provides them all their high-tech equipment. And I tell you what, I kind of wish Wally would sponsor me. I could use some of that high-tech equipment myself. I mean, that BFRO's got some of the coolest toys, I think. They have some of the coolest toys because of Wally Hersom. You know, but I know Mr. Hersom, he's a nice guy. I've met him, and he's a real nice fella. Of course, I met Bart also. Bart's a real good guy. Bart's a good guy. And I asked him how Kimmy and Bella were doing. That's his wife and his younger daughter. He said that his daughter, Bella, his older daughter, I should say, Bella was actually born with hearing loss, so she's had to have at least one surgery. She's going to have another one before too long to resolve her hearing issues, which is very sad that she was born that way, but it sounds like she's going to be okay, and I'm just really thankful for that, you know. And they've got another one on the way. So big congratulations to my buddy Bart Catino and Kimmy, his wife Kimmy, on their second child. And I also asked him if he was going to be going to any conferences. He said not anytime soon. He said he might, you know, he might stick around close to home and attend the one that Mike Rugg puts on. But as far as going to any actual, I don't think you're going to see him at the Sasquatch Summit. I'm a little disappointed he's not going to be going to that, but I understand why. Footers was really interesting. Lauren talked about how there had been a recent discovery of a finger bone, of a female anthropoid of some sort of a new species, as it were, of anthropoid, close to Homo habilis, close to Homo erectus, but not quite. I always find it fascinating and interesting that you have these different species that are being discovered. It's amazing. It really is. These different tribes of anthropoids, tribes of humanoid type creatures. And if we ever find out what Sasquatch is, I mean, I don't think we're dealing with Gigantopithecus. Bart thinks it's Gigantopithecus. That's fine. I don't have any issues with him believing that. That's fine. I personally don't agree with that, but Bart believes in the Bering Straits, the Bering Land Bridge theory. Well, that's how Sasquatch got here. I don't know if he ever actually said it was Gigantopithecus or not. He does believe in the theory that it came across on the Bering Straits land bridge, whatever it is, and I agree with that. I agree. I think that's entirely possible that it did come across the Bering Straits land bridge, whatever Sasquatch is. Whether it is Gigantopithecus or whether it's something more human-like, it's entirely possible. Paranthropus, if that's what Sasquatch is, I believe that there's a possibility that Sasquatch may be Paranthropus, and that they may have come across on the Bering Straits land bridge. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to put anything on you, Bart, as far as... But anyway, really interesting footers, and congratulations to Lauren and Ricky. Lauren got engaged recently, the other night. Big congratulations to Lauren and to Ricky. And it was great to hear about that. I'm not sure what's coming up for Night Callers for next week. Laura, or somebody mentioned that Laura had not found a guest for next week. But we'll begin at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, www.blogtalkradio.com/nightcallers. And then tonight on MNBRT Radio should be a very interesting program. Three guests will be Stephen Stroyfert, Robert, and Ian Leiterman. And they recently, y'all have probably seen the videos right here on YouTube of them venturing out into the Bluff Creek area, attempting to find the actual Patterson-Gimlin film site. The actual site where Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin got footage of a Sasquatch on October 20th, 1967. That show will begin at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, www.blogtalkradio.com/MNBRT. And then tomorrow night it'll be Bigfoot Truth and Lies with Froggy, myself, and Luke Gross. And Froggy says he's going to bring up a topic. We don't have a guest scheduled, but we're going to discuss a topic. It should be quite interesting. And that'll begin at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, www.blogtalkradio.com/Bigfoot Truth and Lies. And of course, as always, we do encourage you to please tune in and support great research. Now, I also asked Bart about the upcoming BFRO series. He says all he knows is that that is coming up. 3 of his good friends are on the show, but he's not revealing too much more about it, as far as when it's going to air and things like that. Because he wants to make sure that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed before there's any announcements on that show. So I understand that. I'm looking forward to seeing the show. I really am. They'll probably premiere in the spring or summer, most likely. It'll be on Animal Planet, by the way. As far as HBMs, well, we're gonna be debuting on podcast next month sometime. It'll be next month. I'll probably do a couple of podcasts next month, hoping to have some great guests, at least until the time that I can afford to pay for the Blog Talk Radio service. I may have been wrong about it being $40 a month. It may be only $40 a year. If that's the case, then that's not too bad. I can afford that. If it is $40 a month, then I may just stick with podcasts. But anyway, we will catch you guys later. We thank you so much for supporting shows like Night Callers and Bigfoot Truth and Lies, MNBRT, Bigfoot Quest. Again, I apologize, Mike and Bob. I fell asleep again. I fell asleep again. It happened again. I'm going to try and make the next one. We shall see what we shall see. Anyway, we'll catch you guys later. Y'all have a good one.